If you've been doing all the right things and still feel blocked, if effort hasn't been translating into results, if opportunities don't seem to come your way with ease, there is a reason for that. And I'm going to tell you all about it today. Hi, I'm RJ, and welcome to Alchemy with RJ. The last time we talked about type, what kind of energy you have, how your aura interacts with the world, and how you are meant to utilize your unique energy. What type did not tell you was how to work with your energy from moment to moment. That is where strategy comes in. It tells you how to approach action, when to act, when to wait, how to move through life in real time, and how to engage with opportunities. So it basically tells you how life is meant to meet you based on your design. Strategy is what keeps you from using your energy against itself day after day. Isn't that cool? Um, and here's the thing, once you understand strategy, your day to day life starts to flow very differently. And that, my friend, is amazing news. So, most people try to initiate everything from the mind. And that makes sense, right? Like, our mind is active all the time, and of course we try to figure a lot of things out with our minds. um, we are sort of taught to decide, plan, push, and commit mentally. But here's the thing, this creates friction for most types. And what strategy does is it shows when action is correct, when waiting is correct, when responding is correct. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing the right thing at the right time. That is what strategy is about. Now, your type informs your strategy, which means that just like there are five types, there are corresponding five strategies. And they come in these pithy little phrases that are super fun to remember. So let's dive in. The first strategy, the generator strategy, is called wait to respond. Put simply, what this means is that generators are meant to let life come to them rather than chase after it. And when they do so, they are meant to be attuned to how their body, their gut, responds to whatever comes their way and take action in accordance with it. Generators are designed to be energetically open and responsive to life, to people, to experiences, to opportunities that naturally appear, using their gut as the ultimate navigation tool. Their strategy helps them to know when to say yes, when to say no, and when to wait. They are not meant to initiate things out of thin air, they're meant to respond. And responding means paying attention to what shows up. It could be a question, it could be an opportunity, a request, an idea that crosses their path. And then letting their body tell them whether it's a yes or a no. A response can come from anything, a conversation that sparks something, a job posting that catches their eye, someone asking to collaborate, a book that makes them think, I want to learn more. When they initiate mentally, their energy leaks. When they respond, however, their energy flows and becomes sustainable. So that's why the generator strategy is phrased as wait to respond. All right, let's move on to the second strategy, which is the manifesting generator strategy. This one is called wait to respond and inform. Respond means waiting for life to bring them something to react to rather than initiating from scratch. So, this is similar to the generator strategy. Now, the job of the manifesting generator is to notice what makes their energy rise, what gets a visceral yes from their gut. Again, similar to how generators experience this. This isn't about thinking through whether something makes sense. It's about feeling that sort of unmistakable pull, that full-bodied, yes. Here's where their response gets a little more nuanced, though. So after their initial gut response, they are meant to visualize themselves actually doing the thing. So they imagine completing the action, and I don't mean just like thinking about it, but feeling into it. Does the visualization feel expansive and enlivening? Does their body still say yes when they picture themselves in it? Or does something else happen? Does their body contract? Does the excitement fall flat? This step helps them distinguish between genuine excitement that will sustain them and fleeting interest that will fizzle out. And after they receive a clear internal yes and feel that expansiveness, they are meant to inform the people impacted who will be impacted by their actions. So informing is not asking for permission. It's simply giving a heads up. This is important because manifesting generators naturally move quickly and decisively. So, without informing, without letting the people who will be impacted know what they're about to do, their speed can create confusion or even hurt feelings sometimes. Informing helps maintain harmony in relationships, it doesn't slow them down. It actually reduces friction so that they can move freely. So, the manifesting generator strategy helps them know when to say yes, when to say no, when to wait in the process that I just described to you. All right, now let's talk about the third strategy, the projector strategy, which is known as a wait for the invitation. And honestly, it's exactly as it sounds. Projectors aren't here to push or prove, and they're not here to concoct things out of thin air. They are here to be recognized in their gifts and invited in to share them. Their strategy of waiting for the invitation, waiting for the recognition, ensures their guidance lands with people who are actually ready to receive it, and about protecting their precious energy from being poured into places where it won't be valued. The invitation can be formal, like a job offer, a direct request, someone explicitly asking for their input. But here's the thing, it can also be energetic, right? So, a feeling that their wisdom is genuinely wanted and there's space in someone's energy for what they have to offer. This strategy of waiting for the invitation helps them know when their insight will land, when to share, when to hold back. And in daily life, the invitation signal correct timing as well. And the invitations, the recognition opens doors. Without invitation, their effort goes unseen, and there's often this feeling of just like why isn't anybody seeing me sort of a feeling that crops up. But invitations, on the other hand, create ease and flow. So they're sort of meant to put themselves out there and allow people to come to them and invite in their wisdom. All right, let's talk about the fourth strategy now. This is the manifestor strategy, and it's called initiate and inform. Manifestors are designed to act from inner knowing. Initiate means paying attention to urges and inspirations that arise within them and following them. I know this like viscerally as I'm sharing this with you because I'm a manifestor, that's my type. So I understand this so viscerally. Um, Manifestors are the only type designed to initiate. They don't need to wait for anything from the outside world to take action. Once they decide that they will act on an urge, an inner knowing. They're meant to inform those who will be impacted by their actions. Informing does not mean explaining themselves or justifying their decisions. It is simply saying, here's what I'm about to do, without diluting their power or waiting for permission of any kind. Informing, again, I want to reiterate, it's not asking for permission, it's actually setting the field. It is dissolving resistance. When people know what's coming, they're less likely to feel blindsided. It creates, like space for the manifestor's initiation to land smoothly. It builds trust in relationships and it allows the right people to be inspired and join in their vision, which is pretty awesome. Their strategy helps them move moment to moment by initiating when the impulse is clean, when they have the clean urge, and informing those affected to reduce to reduce resistance. And this honestly changes how their actions are received in real time. This is exactly how their strategy functions. All right, coming to the fifth and final strategy, the reflector strategy, which is known as wait a lunar cycle. So, reflectors are said to be lunar beings. They are designed to act when they have clarity, which often comes with time, specifically about 29 days, or, in other words, a full lunar cycle. When they don't rush and take their time with their decisions and their actions, they are clear, they are potent, and they are aligned. This does not mean that they wait for nearly a month for the smallest action, by the way. For major actions and decisions, it does make sense to feel into everything over a lunar cycle. For other smaller decisions, it's often helpful to be in a supportive and calming environment and act from a state of calm and objectivity. Reflectors also need solitude, like they need alone time to feel into everything. Um, so, for smaller decisions, if they can even make decisions and also actions, if they can only make like a little bit of space for themselves to feel into things instead of responding on the spot immediately, it helps immensely. This strategy of feeling into things and waiting, taking their time, waiting a lunar cycle, it supports them by slowing their decision making process so that understanding and action emerge naturally. Um, there's actually much more to this than just waiting for 29 days, though. Reflectors are inherently wise and have the gift of an objective and clear way of seeing people and situations. They're able to intuit the underlying currents in any group or space. But when, reflectors offer their observations to people who haven't asked for them, something gets lost in translation. Their wisdom lands differently. Sometimes it's dismissed, sometimes it's misunderstood, and sometimes it's just not appreciated. So their strategy is also about being selective. Like taking their time allows them to be selective. When, in addition to that, when they wait to be invited or initiated into something, it signals that the other person, the receiver, or the field, the space that they're entering, is ready and receptive to their gifts. An invitation signals readiness. This is very similar to how projectors experience it. For example, somebody asking them, hey, would you be open to sharing your insights with our team? So does an invitation. For example, something like, hey, you should do this project because you will be so good at it. Basically, recognition signals value. When someone genuinely sees what a reflector brings and creates space for it, that's when their perspective can actually catalyze change. Moment to moment, all of this translates to, not rushing, allowing rhythm instead of consistency to dictate their actions, which feels good to their nervous system, noticing when they're receiving recognition in the form of invitation or initiation, and allowing themselves time to sense into what is coming their way and take action when there's alignment. So, strategy, and I mean all strategies, explain why trying harder doesn't really help. It's not that you're inconsistent, it's not that you're confused. It just likely means that you're taking action and navigate life in ways your energy wasn't really designed for. And when your strategy clicks for you, daily decisions will start feeling lighter, daily actions start feeling easier. Your timing improves and your energy feels more stable. So, this is obviously a new way of moving through life. Strategy truly changes how you use your energy moment to moment, how you handle pressure, how you navigate life. You you stop forcing clarity. You stop second guessing yourself constantly, and life starts meeting you more naturally because you're engaging correctly. Um, Basically, strategy is how your design becomes livable, not just intellectually, understandable. Okay, so type tells you what kind of energy you have and how it interacts with the world. Strategy tells you how to work with it moment to moment. But there's another crucial piece people actually overlook sometimes. Every type has signposts, emotional and energetic sort of indicators that tell them when they're in alignment and when they are working against their design. They show up in real life every day in how they feel. Coming up next, I'm going to talk to you about what alignment actually feels like for each type and how to recognize when you have drifted off your path. So that's like really juicy because you imagine if you had a tool that helped you know when you were off track and when you were on track. That would be so, so helpful. So, this is what we'll chat about the next time. I will see you there.